Welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess, and we do these live streams every single weekday talking about what's happening in the markets. Now, today we have a slightly different live stream because we are going to be waiting for the CPI data announcement, which is in just 4 minutes' time. So let's discuss the effect that this could have on the markets, first of all, prior to this announcement. So we have 4 minutes to discuss what this is. We are going to find out the CPI data. If I pull up the screen here so you can see what I am looking at, you can see that Bitcoin is currently sat at $24,862. Ethereum is sat at $1,691. Now, what could happen to the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum in the next couple of minutes as we could see some huge amounts of volatility. So right now we are waiting to hear the CPI data. As you can see here, the announcement is today, and we are currently waiting to hear what the inflation rate could be. It is predicted that it will be 6%, and this is a move to the downside. Now, the reason that CPI data is so important and why we are looking at this piece of information when we're looking at inflation is because the Fed want to lower inflation. They have a goal of getting it down to 2%. Currently, it's sat at 6.4% on the previous month. So what they are trying to do is lower inflation, and how they lower inflation is they stop us spending. How do they stop us spending? They rise interest rates. If they make interest rates higher, that means people can't borrow as much money, individuals and businesses, and that means people are spending less. Well, they can borrow as much money, but obviously they're less incentivized to do so when the interest rates are high. So people are borrowing less, which means they are spending less, which means that inflation can move to the downside. So interest rates are really the way that the Fed, somebody has just said slow down. Sorry about that. Interest rates are really how the Fed slow down purchasing and therefore control inflation. So if this inflation rate is higher than expected, it could imply that we are going to see higher interest rates. And with higher interest rates, that means less people are borrowing and people are moving out of risky assets, and the markets don't like high interest rates. High interest rates usually mean that the prices are moved to the downside. If we take a look at this quickly, we can see the CPI data. We are predicting to see 6%. If we're looking at the interest rates, because this is what we are waiting for, we are going to hear about the interest rates on the 21st and 22nd of March. This is really going to give us an indication of what's going to happen later down the line. If we take a look at this chart here, you can see interest is clearly on the rise, and they are continuing to rise. Yesterday, we did hear from in news that there was consensus that we could see neutral change in the interest in this announcement on the 21st, 22nd. But the news we hear today about the CPI data is really going to determine what the expectations can be at that later date. And as I said, that's really important. The CPI data will show us what the interest rates are going to be. And if the interest rates are higher, it means the markets are going to be moving to the downside. If the interest rates are lower, the markets can be moving to the upside. So what I'm expecting from the markets right now in 1 minute time when we find out this piece of information is that we are either going to see if the inflation rate is as expected or higher, we could expect to see a move to the downside. If the interest rate is lower, if the inflation rate is lower than expected, then we could see a move to the upside. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart now and see what is happening. Let's take a look at this chart we have on the 1 hour chart. We are waiting for this move. If we go into the smaller time frames, we might see a little bit more volatility. Taking a look at this, we're currently sat at 24,720. Let's take a look. I'm waiting to see where this news comes from first. Let's take a look. I've got all of my tabs open everywhere. Let's see what is going on over on Twitter, seeing if we have any announcements. We should have pulled this up prior to the stream. Poor organization from me. Let's see what is going on in the markets here and see if we have any news. This may be the news. Let's see if this is the information that we need on the, here we go. CPI year on year, 6%. James got it right. He put it in the group, in the live chat saying, I say +6. That is what we are seeing right now. If we go over to these pieces of information. That is exactly as it was expected to. So Bitcoin could see a nice move to the upside. Here it is. We have that move to the upside. We have the volatility exactly as expected. That's exactly what we wanted to see for the markets right now. When we are expecting this and it happens, that is a nice thing to see. So we can continue to hopefully see Bitcoin rise throughout this stream. We are going to continue to see volatility though. So we'll have to continue with this. I would also be careful. Obviously, this is positive things for all of the markets, but it doesn't mean we are going to go up in a straight line. Volatility will be high. We are up at $25,000 right now. Very positive things here. I'm very pleased to hear this news. Let's take a look at some news from Crypto Saving Expert, and then we can check in back with the charts as we continue with today's stream and see what's happening. Or we can continue watching us skyrocket on the price of Bitcoin. We are now at $25,150. Let's see what is we are continuing upwards. We are continuing upwards. We have that $25,250 level labeled on the price chart, and we have had this labeled on the chart for a very long time on this channel, and I will show you why. And that is because if we move out to the daily chart, you can see that if we break through this $25,250 level, which we are approaching right now, you can see clearly these are the only two times that we have moved within the price range of $25,250 to $28,150. We've not really had much price action within this range, and therefore we don't have many levels of support within this range. We do definitely have a level of resistance at $25,250. We've attempted to break through that multiple times and failed to. But if we manage to break through that level, we don't have many resistances that we have to face, and therefore we could see a huge move for the price of Bitcoin. Obviously, this inflation data is helping with that very much. We can continue to look at the price of Bitcoin. I know you want to see what's happening on that smaller time frame. We can see the 5-minute chart. We've just seen this two huge green candles on the 1-minute chart, and that $25,250 level is just holding there. It may not do in the next couple of minutes. We'll have to see how this plays out. Let's take a look at some news though and see what I don't want to take everybody away from the charts if they're really happy to see this reaction from the markets. This is incredibly positive to see. This is exactly when I was coming on the stream, I was thinking, please have positive news, and this is what we have got. We are seeing volatility still within the markets. I need to turn that off because you can just hear my phone buzzing, the excitement of the Crypto Saving Expert team of this data. Let's take a look at this. We have let's take a look at some CME gaps as well, because this is what we were looking at yesterday, and this has not yet finished. I don't want to move away from the Bitcoin chart just yet because we are all very excited about what is happening. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin futures charts. You can see here we have a CME gap obviously down at $20,145. We spoke about that in yesterday's stream. We're not happy about that here at Crypto Saving Experts, but one positive thing we have is a CME gap up at $28,895 and another one up at $35,285. So they are acting like magnets for the price of Bitcoin. If we go back over here, though, we still haven't yet managed to get through that level of resistance at 25,250. We've seen a positive move following this data, maybe not strong enough though to get us through that level of resistance, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It is starting to calm down. The volatility on the CPI data announcements and the interest rates announcements is always huge. So it's a nice trade to make, but I sacrificed that opportunity to do this live stream. So if you are enjoying, please make sure to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So continue to like and subscribe and share the streams with your friends as well to help us grow the channel. Let's take a look now. Let's move on from this data and see what is happening in the cryptocurrency news. We can continue to check in on this and see what is happening. I'm very excited about this, and I'm very grateful that I dollar cost averaged in under $20,000 when we had another opportunity to do so. Let's take a look at the news and see what is happening over here. So we have yesterday's news was the probability for no Fed interest rate adjustment has increased. So before Silvergate Valley Bank, the market, Silicon Valley Bank, there's so many banks that have gone shut down this weekend. Silicon Valley Bank, the market had been torn between a 25 BPS and 50 BPS rate increase for March, with 25 being the overall consensus throughout the last weeks. However, with the spiraling bank and liquidity crisis in the US, the Fed has a difficult decision to make next week. On Friday, the 10th of March, the market predicted a zero rate hike by the Federal Reserve had a 0% likelihood, an almost impossible chance. This came after Fed Chair Jerome Powell had insisted that the job was far from over in tackling inflation. Since then, the probability of zero rate decision had increased to 47%, with the odds of a 50 basis points increase dropping to zero. Since this peak, the likelihood of zero rate hikes has decreased to 21%. Now, obviously, this information will change slightly. Now we have this inflation data. It's looking even more likely. Hopefully they don't make too much of a change on the interest rates and we have positivity then, because when interest rates are rising, it means businesses and individuals can borrow less money and therefore spend less money. And therefore people move out of risky assets like Bitcoin. But when we have positive moves for inflation, we mean we don't have to increase interest rates as much or at all. And therefore the markets like that. That gives us a positive reaction within the markets. Let's move on to the next piece of news and see what's happening. Before we do, let's check in on the price of Bitcoin, currently sat just below $25,000. A nice move to the upside. I mean, the news broke at 12:30 today. It's 8:30 Eastern time, 12:30 UTC time, $24,642 we started on. We're now just below that $25,000 level. Have again retested that $25,250 level. That level is strong. We need somebody big to break us through that level of resistance so we can move to the upside. Let's see what is happening in the next piece of news. So after in the aftermath of all these banks collapsing over the weekend, Brian Armstrong alludes to Coinbase banking features. So this is the CEO of Coinbase, and as the dust begins to settle surrounding the Silicon Valley Bank and the US banking climate, Coinbase's CEO is one of many crypto leaders pondering further breakaway from traditional finance. In a tweet from Ryan Lackey asking Armstrong regarding the heightened SVB situation, the Coinbase CEO replied, "Definitely something we've thought about. Need a few more features like outbound wires, multi-user support, etc." And this is coming, actually, I don't think we cover this in today's news. Binance have announced that they are stopping Great British Pound on and off ramp as of the 22nd of March, I believe. March or May. Within the coming weeks, we are seeing Binance actually stop Great British Pound fiat on and off ramps on the platform. So that was a shocking piece of news to come out yesterday. We do need to have more accessibility for the markets, especially now we've seen these three banks being shut down, which were very crypto friendly within the US. And this is a concern, but it's not something that we can't face. The cryptocurrency industry are working out ways around this, and Coinbase offering banking features. And we also have companies that Jordan is a big fan of, like Tap, that can offer banking features for cryptocurrency companies to grow. This isn't the end of cryptocurrency with these banks being shut down. We are just going to find a way around it, and we can continue to build. We can see here Armstrong's comments suggest the company has considered attempting to build banking features within Coinbase or as an extension of the platform. If anything, the SVB collapse has only added to the utility of cryptocurrency and why it has been striving to break away from the banking industry. The CEO also replied, "What are the features you'd want?" In response to this guy's tweet, he suggested various features such as better services and building dedicated to Coinbase banking. So due to the effect brought upon USDC, a regulated banking service provided by a cryptocurrency company would certainly be another step to paving the way for the industry to stand on its own 2 feet. It would provide lesser dependence upon traditional banks to hold reserves and to deposit and withdraw funds from exchanges. Coinbase is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges and is one of, if not the most regulated, as it is listed on the US stock market under the ticker symbol COIN. This may prove advantageous if Coinbase applies for licensing required to open a form of banking service. So positive news there from the CEO of Coinbase. Sorry, I'm full of cold. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart and see what's happening. That volatility is starting to move to the downside. We are currently sat above $25,000. Let's get the volume on here. I don't know why the volume isn't already on this chart. Let's see what the volumes are looking like. I expect it to be incredibly high. We can see here we saw huge amounts of volumes on the 1 minute chart as soon as that data was announced. I'm so happy that that was positive news. Another thing that could possibly be a catalyst for a nice move to the upside for Bitcoin. But we'll have to see how this plays out. Let's take a look at some of the indicators on the bigger time frames. On the 1 hour chart, the MACD looks like it's about to tick bullish, and the RSI, obviously, after seeing a huge move to the upside, is showing that we are slightly overbought, but that is expected when we see a move to the upside. Let's take a look back at the news now. We need to flick between the news and the prices so that we can get all of the news in today's stream. We do these live streams every single morning, talking about the latest cryptocurrency news and taking a look at the market. So we do need to get through the news at some point today. If you are enjoying this stream, please don't forget to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button so that you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at how many likes we are on today's stream. Let me refresh the page, see what we are at. We are currently on 25 likes for today's stream, so please make sure to continue liking and sharing the stream with your friends to help us on our mission to get to 100,000 subscribers. Let's take a look at the next piece of news and see what is happening. So in the aftermath, we've already covered that one today. So Nissan expands into Web3 and trials metaverse car sales room. So Japanese motor firm Nissan is trialing a metaverse showroom called the Nissan Hype Lab. This allows customers to virtually test and purchase cars with a customizable avatar. So this month, Nissan has been working to increase its Web3 presence further and realize the concept of trialing and purchasing its goods in the metaverse. The motor company has applied for 4 Web3 and NFT trademarks in the US. And these cover the provision of NFT that authenticate multimedia files relating to clothing, footwear, headgear, trading cards, automobiles, SUVs, trucks, toys, land, and buildings, and that will presumably be collectible items for the Nissan metaverse. And so this is another positive thing. Now, these aren't things that necessarily I would be interested in investing into. I'm not an NFT fan. I'm not really on board with all of this just yet. Some opportunities can make you some money in an investment sense, but not something that I would utilize as anything other than that. However, obviously nothing is financial advice. That is just my own opinion. The good thing about this is that we see adoption when leading companies come into this space. It creates it creates some sort of attraction for people out of the space to learn more about the cryptocurrency industry, about the Web3 industry, and about the metaverse and how they can benefit from this industry. So it's creating adoption for the space, and that is one of the 2 most important things that we cover on this channel. We are always looking for things about adoption, and we are always looking for things about positive regulation of the space. Just hold on one sec. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, but I don't feel like it's coming. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what's happening. Before we do, let's check back in on the price of Bitcoin. I can't resist. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. We are currently sat at $25,150. We are seeing a nice move to the upside. For those that missed it, the inflation data was at 6%. So that was as expected, which is a positive thing, because if inflation was looking higher than expected, we could expect to see higher interest rates on the 21st, 22nd of May. And that is because when inflation rates are high, the Fed are trying to reduce inflation rates. They're trying to get it down to 2%. Now, to do that, they need to stop people spending as much. And to stop people spending as much, they increase interest rates, because that means that loans have higher interest for individuals and for businesses. And when people are taking out less loans, people are spending less, and people are moving out of risky assets because they have less money to spend. So that is why the inflation rate matters so much today. So it's a positive thing for the markets, because the markets don't like to see higher interest rates. So that is what we are looking at. Let's take a look at the next news article, and then we'll come back to the price of Bitcoin. We'll keep checking in on it throughout today's stream and see what's happening, but we do have some news that we should discuss in today's stream. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and press that bell notification button to help us grow the channel as big as possible. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are currently on 28 likes for today's stream, but we already have 156 viewers. So if you wouldn't mind hitting like and subscribe and sharing the video with your friends as well to help us grow the channel as much as possible. Let's take a look at the next article now and see what is happening. So PeopleDAO was hacked for $120,000 through a Google Sheets social engineering hack. So due to a social engineering hack on March the 6th, PeopleDAO lost 76.5 ETH, valued at approximately $120,000. And PeopleDAO is the result of a collective created in 2021 to obtain a copy of the United States Constitution. The initial project was called Constitution DAO. Let's take a look at this article. See what is happening. According to the project team on the official Twitter account, A series of mistakes contributed to the hack. Initially, the project's accounting lead accidentally forwarded a link to the payout form to a public channel with edit access on the project's Discord server. The hacker could add their address and a 76.5 Ethereum payment using this edit access to the form. This row was then turned invisible on the form by the hacker. Notice in the image below that row 81 is missing. The team failed to notice the invisible row in the form when doing the rechecks and the March payments. The team downloaded a CSV file with the inserted data and then uploaded it to Safe CSV's airdrop tool. Also, it was not recognized by the multi-signature signers who carried out the transfers after the information from the form had been transmitted to the Safe airdrop tool. As a result, the 76.5 ETH payment was received by the attacker's wallet. So very interesting attack there. Another one in the markets, unfortunately. Hopefully we see less and less of this as the market evolves. Let's take a look at the next article and see what is happening. We have trading has been suspended for multiple US bank stocks as prices plunge amid SVB saga. So despite steps taken by US regulators yesterday to mitigate the impending contagion, investor panic has led to the decline of multiple bank stocks. So recall that US regulators shut down SVB over the weekend after the financial institution suffered a $42 billion bank run last week due to failed efforts to raise additional capital. The California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation seized SVB's deposits and appointed the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation as the receiver of its assets. So essentially, what this article is saying, we've seen 3 banks shut down over the weekend. We had SVB, we had Signature Bank, and we had I've tested myself by trying to say all of these at once. And we had Silicon Bank. Now, one was because of regulation. SVB chose to liquidate their assets, but we've seen fear spread across the industry, the stock market over US banking stocks. So we've seen those move to the downside. Now that is expected. There's a lot of fear within the industry, and then we see markets move to the downside. That is what we see over and over again within the financial markets. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart now and see what is happening. We are currently at $25,800. We've broken that level of resistance that was so hard to break. Let's take a look at the 1 minute chart. We've seen a nice move to the upside. I have never been so grateful for dollar cost averaging in below $20,000. Let's see what happens within the next couple of minutes. Thanks, Jerome, for letting me know that it was starting to move. Very interesting price moves here. Let's see if this actually holds. Now, this will be very, very interesting. We've broken through that level of resistance that we've been waiting to break through for a very long time. I would be interested to see if we manage to close any of those bigger time frame candles above that level of resistance so that it's not just a wick that has gone above it. And I would also be interested to see if it actually holds and it's not a fake out. So what I want to see is preferably a 1 hour candle close above the $25,250 level. And then even a 4 hour candle close would be even better. And that is when I would be feeling super, super bullish and feeling more and more likely that that higher CME gap is going to close. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what's happening. I'm praying that this isn't just a wick to the upside and we actually see this hold in the longer term. Let's take a look at the next piece of news though and see what is happening. We have Meta ends NFT support on Facebook and Instagram. So now this is a bit of a bummer, not what we wanted to see within the industry. Meta were actually although this wasn't a brilliant, like people within the space weren't overjoyed by this news that Meta began NFT support on Facebook and Instagram, should we say. Now that they've taken it down, it was really a great gateway to get people into cryptocurrencies, into NFTs, and into Web3. And now that they've removed that, it's kind of like we've lost that gateway, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, we'll see more things to come about Web3 from Meta. I mean, they've changed the name to Meta now. They've got to stick with the industry no matter what. And hopefully we see some other things from Meta as a company that helps onboard users into Web3. Let's take a look at the next article now. I love this picture that the writers have put together. Jim Cramer, just people to sell their Bitcoin again. So we have a huge buy signal. Everybody likes to counter trade this guy because he seems to call Bitcoin wrong over and over again. There are many counter trade accounts over on Twitter that will trade the opposite to what he suggests for Bitcoin. And we've seen now he is shouting to sell. And this is what he gets. Look at that pump up to $25,780 and counting. We are still moving to the upside. I want to check my portfolio. It's going to look pretty nice. I'm pretty excited to see this. We are seeing some moves to the upside. Let's hope that it's had an effect on some of the altcoins as well. Oh, the portfolio is looking very nice. Let's see what is happening on not on CoinMarketCap, on Crypto Saving Expert. We'll see what's over here. Let's take a look at the top gainers in the last 24 hours. Stacks is up there, Phantom is up there, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in the top 4 biggest gainers in the last 24 hours out of the top 100 coins. That is very, very impressive. We can see here the graph is performing very well. We are seeing big, big moves for a lot of coins within the markets right now. Let's take a look back at the Bitcoin price one more time. $25,700. Let's keep an eye on that and see what happens. We have one last article that I wanted to share with you all today. And this is the 3 reasons an altcoin becomes the biggest gainer of the week. So this is looking at the different altcoins and suggesting some information for you guys. We are trying out a different type of article over on the website. So if you do want to get the latest cryptocurrency news and you want to receive information about crypto, make sure to go over to the Crypto Saving Expert website. And when you're not signed in, just press the big blue button that appears here and you can sign up completely for free and get the most reliable cryptocurrency news, free guides and free courses as well, and that free market data as well, so you don't miss out on that. Make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and subscribe. It's one of the best crypto websites out there. It's a one-stop shop for cryptocurrency, so make sure not to miss it. That is what we are looking at in terms of news for today, though. We can take a look at what is happening over on Bitcoin quickly. We are currently sat $25,750. It's looking very, very pleasant. The market's going to be a nice place to be in today, and hopefully that continues. Now, I think that is all that we need to say today to wrap up today's stream. Thank you very much for tuning in with us once again. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have, please make sure to like and subscribe and press that bell notification button. We will be back tomorrow with another update, so thank you very much for watching and I will see you then.